Hello everybody. Alright, so I have done, as I said, I've condensed the entire code. It was just a bunch of wires everywhere, and this is what we end up with. There's probably a few more things that can be done, but I just was fine with it the way it was. Now, one thing going on here is most of this space is being taken up, this horizontal space is being filled by this part right here, which is kind of responsible for fixing the words. So we could probably get away with not having so much, but I like the feature. I don't want to get rid of it, so I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm gonna leave it for now. So let's go back to our thing and go ahead and test it out. So basically you start, you load your video, select all 4 points, you select first point, okay, second point, keyboard's easy, third point, okay, fourth point, okay, there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you should click next to go to the next frame. Now if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well I want to redo point 2, there we go, okay, that's better. Point 4 seems wrong, should be at the tip of his toe, there we go. Point 3 should be at the ankle, there we go. So you can pretty much edit however much you want, and then when you're done you should click next and it should go to the next frame. So let's set up a few things. First of all, when you are done and you click next, this is gonna be basically what's gonna be clicked as next instead of stop. Now there will be a few things, which is basically you need to have all this complete or else it's not gonna work. We could move our reset button, set it as a 4x4, a small reset right there. How about that? There we go, we could do that. So now our reset button is a little smaller. Can we... Here are our 4 points. Are they taking exactly 4 blocks? Yes, they are. That's perfect. These should probably be replaced by squares. Square LED. Replace LED, square LED. Replace LED, square LED. Replace LED, square LED. Does this change the name? No, it does not. Perfect. So we need this to be, let's say, about this big. And this could be used as a status. So there's these which set the status. We can reset, of course. Here are all of them. We can't seem to make that smaller. Maybe we can make this bigger? No. Should leave it just the way it is. Maybe make it a little bigger. Then we need to make this even bigger. Okay, that's fine then. Alright, we'll leave it as it is. I'm not sure if we should have these as these big points or not. Let's see. Probably put them in between those. There we go. And we have the overall button right there on top, and there's a small reset. So I don't know. I don't like this reset. Put the reset down here, make this bigger. We select all 4, we select these, and then you can do next at the bottom there. There's the reset. Okay, we'll come back to this. So let's set up another button, and this one will say, basically, this will just say next frame. Let's go and check it, and I'm gonna call this next. So here's our next frame button, which will replace our stop button. So there we go. So when we're done, we want this to stop, which basically means go to the next frame. I'm not sure where to put it, so we'll see. This reset is kind of dominating. Alright, well, I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe I can add a color light here, which means you can go. It's like approval to go on to the next frame, perhaps, or something. We'll look into that. I'm not sure what to do with these two. Maybe I'll just get rid of the reset and I'll just have this big next frame button, right? So select all 4 points, select first point, second point, third point, fourth point. When you're ready, you're happy, you can go to the next frame. You can do reset, probably do reset points. We can do a previous button maybe even, right? So you can go and check on your previous points. Why does it say the X on this side, not on the other side? Why isn't this here? This, whoa, okay. 1, 2 this way, 1, 2 that way, 1, 2. Well, this could be moved this way, and then the Y could be put there. This could be moved again, and the Y, let's see, can we fix it to attach to the top? The X could be fixed to attach to the bottom. There, let's just do it this way. There we go. Here are our 4 points. We can have this a little longer. So yeah, we can have a 4x4 reset points. We can go to previous point, reset points, and then this is the button to go to the next frame. We can even make these a little smaller, probably standardize the setting so they will all be the same size. There we go, there we go, there we go, and there's your big next frame button. So we can make this even bigger than everything else, perhaps. We'll see, we'll see. This reset button, we can go to previous frame, next frame, reselect also points, blah 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 blah, and we can have a whole array showing us what we've done. File save. So let us move on to making this work. This will stop the system. Now when the system stops, we will need to go ahead and do something. What we will need to do is go to the next frame. It's very simple. And we're going to have to keep doing this every single time. So what's going to change from time to time? This part of the code is mostly going to remain the same. So I'm going to leave it on the side a little far now. I'm going to add a while loop that needs to enclose our current while loop. Again, this is really messing with my mind. I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm going to add an overall control for the big stop button. This will be our new big stop button. Now, we will need something to show us the frame that we are on and the frame we're going to get and so on. This close of the AVI will need to be performed all the way at the end, which for our current purposes will be right at the end. It doesn't have to be left to right. There's actually a trick we can use, but I'm not going to use it. And this will need to come here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let's make this bigger. So what's coming in here right now is going to be this part of the code, where basically the image in. Okay, let's get rid of this. Get this to connect to this, and get the IMQ to connect, and this will be what's entering, and this wire will connect here, and this will move, this will connect here. So we leave our AVI part, and the frame we're going to be on is this frame from the eye. There we go. Now I'm going to bring our big stop button, move it over here, check now the eye, and we have the information from the video, right? And perhaps I should move that as well to the inside. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's move this back to the inside as well. This will now be our video, and this will be all that's occurring on the outside. So there we go. So now we have our number of frames. Now when I is greater, or let's see, when I is greater or equal, when I is greater or equal to the number of frames, we would like you to stop. So we're going to want it to stop on this scenario or this scenario. Either one of those, please stop. So there we go. We have our new stop situation. And this sets the frame to change. Now let's go ahead and create an indicator. And this will be the current frame you are on. And let's go ahead and add a +1 increment to this piece of data so that we get more realistic turns. So this is where we are at, right? So let's go ahead and start it. This should go to 1. There we go. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Next frame. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We could set up an auto start button. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, what was that? Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next frame. Select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. There we go. Perfect. Let's set up a system where it automatically starts all 4 when you click next frame. Right? So let's do that. Let's take this and create 4 minus 2, and we're gonna do a button that I'm gonna call the auto start, which will be about only 4. There we go, and this will be the color of it, and we shall put it here, and this will be the auto start. This is the reset. You can even move these here. So the auto start button, so I can't seem to click anymore, should have a mechanical action of latch switch when pressed. Yeah, so basically click, click. Let's run this. So click, 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 click. Auto start is on, auto start is off. Stop. Now, what is auto start? So what auto start does is I want it to automatically start this for me, the selection of all 4. I want it to automatically, when you get into the game, start that setup. And that setup is going to be number 1, right? So I want if auto start is on, I want it to override everything and just do that for the first time only, right? That's the key term here, is for the first time. When this I is 0, right, I want it to do that. Otherwise, I want it to wait for instructions from the user. Let's move these a little further away. Let's move this further away. Let's move everything else further away. Make some space for coding. I'd like to move these as well. And move this so I can play around here. Alright, let's get these here and this moved away. And now we can work. So, this is going to be a light. And where's the button? Here's the button. So, what this is going to be the... I'm just going to call it auto start, the whole term. So, the auto start is going to be directly linked to the auto start here. So basically, when I run the game, if auto start is on, this should be on. Now, the reason this is not on is because we are in the first image. So next frame, there we go. Off, next frame it's off. For this frame it's on, off. So we'll need it to update in here. So in here, take the auto start. We create a reference to it. We take this and we create a local variable. And then we update this. Well, okay, this will need to update this, the auto start from out here. Or should the auto start be in here? Yeah, let the auto start be in there. Let's see how that works. I think it should be fine. So while running, I auto start on or off in any case. If it is on, something happens. If it is off, something happens. We're always going to be in a scenario where we're in here. So this should be fine. Now, if this is 0, if I is 0, right, then if this is, if auto start is true, right? So if this is 0 and auto start is 0, so if both of these are true, then we're going to set up a comparison with the selector. Now this selector, if they are both true, I would like it to select 1. Otherwise, it will select whatever that has selected. Perfect. Let's just set this up a little. From one auto start to the other auto start, take that with the middle, and there we go. There we go. Here's our mini piece of code. Now this will need to run in between these two. So I'm going to move it as much as I can. This will need to run right in between these two, where this will be our new decision, and the data coming from here will need to be our input for this. So we'll raise this as much as we can. That's fine. And there it is. Let's move it forward. There's that piece of code. And then this can now move downwards. Somewhat downwards at least. Alright, let's move this and this and this and move this back, and there it is. So this piece of code will keep our auto start running if we need it to. So if auto start is on, we can set it to previous on. That means that this will automatically run and start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, what happened there? 1. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And then next, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then next. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then next. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then next. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 And they're gonna have to do this 1,000 times. That's gonna be very annoying. Now we can stop this. We can stop the auto start. We can select all 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go to next frame. Then you have to do this again. 1, 2, 3, and 3. Oh, that was 4. 3 is here, and 4 is here. Stop. This is the current frame number. Current frame number 15. Oh yeah, you're never gonna finish. There's an auto start. Reselect all 4 points. Reset the points, reset them to 0. Next frame. Perfect. Now, we need all this data to be saved. So we come here to the end. We're gonna move this. Oh, make this bigger. Now this data needs to be saved every iteration. So every time this is running, I want this data to be formatted and saved, right? The keyword being formatted. So what we're looking at here is an array of 4 numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to index this array, and that's to get the 4 points of data out. And then every point of data we'll need to assess again. So I'll come back to do that in a second. Current frame number, there it is. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and we are going to create a reference to this frame number. And then that's going to be part of our data. So here's the data that we have, and it's going to be compiling every single time. So current frame number is going to be the first piece of information that's most important. The next piece is going to be a very interesting piece. We're going to take this number, break it apart, unbundle it, so that now we get the x and y. And then what we're going to do is we are going to insert it into an array. We're going to insert each one of them into the end of a single array, which will come through and restart itself, starting from the first number built as a single number in a single array. Oh, what is that? Let's see what kind of data this is. Appended array. I'm not sure this is a numeric array. Yeah, that is not a numeric array. Oh, okay. So what we need to do is we need to get the value of this. So we need to create a property getting the value of that number, and then getting that, putting it, basically we're converting this from a number to an array, and then adding that to this, and then the last piece, if all this is working correctly, we should see the data as a string of data. Let's see that. So we start. I'm going to set auto start to on. Now it will not auto start the first time I click auto start. Select all 4 points, first point, second point, third point, fourth point, and then next frame. There we go. So now what we have is the frame number, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. That's it. Cancel. I'd like to stop the program, condense this data, and then what I would like to do is take this data and convert it into a 2D array. The way we're going to do this is well, since these are numbers, I will not be able to add words to it, so that's going to be kind of disappointing, but I will be able to create my own array, build an array of multiple words, and let's do that there. So that's going to be f number, f dash number, f number. That's going to be frame number, create the constant, and this is going to be x1, y1, and then x2, y2, x3, it's going to be x2, it's going to be x3, it's going to be x4, it's going to be y2, it's going to be y3, it's going to be y4. So we get that, we get y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. Move that to make sure it all worked. There we go, and now I have an array of all this data right here, which I should be able to left align, move it away from their lines, move, there we go, select them. Oh, what is this? What is that? Okay, delete. Let's create another one of these. Not sure what that was. F number sign. Create these, align them to the right, and then we do some spacing, where I would like the spacing vertical compress. And there we go. They're perfectly compressed right now. All we need to do is set up these annoying lines. not as hard as it might look. There we go. And now we have an entire array, and this is going to be my, basically the top, what's going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bundle this top data with bottom data, or well, I'm calling it bottom data right now. Let's make some space. Okay, I'm gonna create a break in this line. This usually works. Not today. I wanted to move this up here without having that effect. What if we move it down here? Okay, and then I can move it up there. Oh, can I get a break in the line now? There we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so now this is safe out here. I don't need to worry about it much. I can move this, bring this data here. Now what I want to put here is going to be a building of an array. What I'm going to build on is an array I have before, and I'm going to add this to it. Now the array I will have before is going to be an empty array the first time, and then after the first time, as always, it will be filled up. So let us get this array there, replaced with the shift register. And now what we will need this to come all the way from the back. So it'll take a few seconds or more. I really don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna create a break in the line, come all the way back here. Here it is, and take it from here, and we'll fix all the wiring later on. So there it is. We can create a constant out here to ensure it starts empty with zeros every time, and this should work. If we go ahead and move this and create a indicator here, looking at this indicator, this should update every time. There's an error, let's see where. Okay, this needs the second piece of cluster data, which is going to be this number. This is actually the piece that should have been a shift register. This piece of data will go on the outside. This line will need to become this line. So let's delete this, delete that. This line needs to become this line without that, and then this is being changed in here, but first we're gonna have to uncluster this and get this data here for updating. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go, yep. And what happens is this comes here, and then we cluster them out here as the default cluster shape. And we get this to go in here, and this should be our default. There we go. Everything's fine now. Everything should be fine now. Let me test this appended array. This is set to auto start. So 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do this 1,000 times. This is the array. This is x1, y1, how it's changing. You can see that this is going down. And this is the analysis that they will need to do later on. Now that we know what this looks like, I can go ahead and move on to some kind of what's next on our list, and that would be that what we actually need to see in the data. So what I showed you is not what we're going to want to see. There's going to be, by the way, one more layer of this adjustment stuff. So there's going to be one more while loop at the end, which allows you to save your data. And we'll set up another one where you can go back and edit data. And, well, we can do a whole bunch of things. Let's create an indicator for this cluster here. This is going to be our main output, and I want this to show. There we go. Now, this will have 8 slots, and it should be equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it should have 9 of them. There we go, 9 of them. And this will need to be exactly the same size. There we go. And exactly 9 of it. It's almost the same size. It's not. There we go. And I can actually move this a little higher. Maybe just a little more. There we go. This one we don't need to see. Oh, we don't need to see this. Visible items. I don't need the index. This one, can I leave? We do need the index. Okay. This says we do need it, so actually we don't need it. What we could do is we could add here, no, we could visible items, the vertical scroll bar on it. There we go. And we can show whatever number of data we want. And there we go. So when I run this, we should get all the data correct. And let's see. This, yes, this, yes, this, yes, and this, yes. Oh, where's my data? Is it processing? Next frame? Ah, okay. You need to click next frame. So there we go. The frame number, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. Here it is. The data keeps piling up with every image. First image, second image, third image, fourth image. Next frame. First image, second, third, fourth. Next frame, and it adds it, and it keeps doing that. Now I just wanted to actually draw this the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this draw function of the cluster, and hopefully I can get it to process out here, view as an icon, and instead of output cluster we're going to call it data, and this is going to be processed immediately. And then the data, we're going to create a local variable for it so that we can add the data at any point later on. Taking that, adding the data. This should not change, except now when I run it, it will show me these here from the beginning. There we go. Cancel, and auto start is on, start is off. We can probably get this to say the whole frame space number. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X3, Y3, X4, and Y4. Save. I really should save more often, and I'm gonna get this to come down and sit down here. Move this back. There's our numeric variables. They can actually come sit here. We can move this a little this way, and that leaves us with the actual data printing. Is that what I'm calling it? Take this whole thing and I'm gonna move it closer to where we need it to be. It needs to be along this line. These lines are not perfect yet. Again, when the final program is done, I'll figure out how to deal with them. Alright, what's next? So now we have all our data printing perfectly into this right there. This is the frame we're on. This is the total frames. This is the total number of frames. Total frame. We can just call it total frames, can't we? Can we get these to be vertical arrangement, size to text, lockdown? That's fine. Total frames. There we go. You're on frame. Current frame is 1 out of 1024. Visible items, remove the label. There we go. It's 1 out of 1024. We can actually move this to the side and do it this way. And do size to text, total number of frames, and we can center this with the number, and we can have this on top of it. We can move the label, current number of frames. We can do size to text again, current frame number, move again. We don't need the number sign, so there we go. Current frame, total number of frames, current frame number. There we go. This will be some kind of stats, so we know where we are, where we're going. So we're on frame 1 out of 1024. So that's an insanely large number of files to go through. So now what is the next thing we need to do? I'm gonna get rid of the scroll bars, visible items, image information, visible items, label, visible items, ROI tools. What? Oh, okay, ROI tools hidden. I don't want to use any of them. I just want this at maximum, please. Nope, maybe one less. Beautiful. There we go. You can just right click, zoom to fit. Everything's fine. It's set up. We can set up the path right there. We can move this all the way to the edge, make this bigger, or we can move it here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to say. At least I don't think so. There's the path. If the path is longer than this, maybe there's problems. It shouldn't be more than that. But we do know everything's possible. So there we go. Which AVI file, where you are, current number, current frame, total number of frames, current frame number. Here's your options, selecting points and whatever, and then here's the data. And then when you're done, you should export the data, and we'll get to that later. Let's save for now. Beautiful. All right, let's move this closer here. Let's take our data pack, move it closer to here. I don't want to see visible item, I don't want to see the label. The big stop sign, which we haven't finished. Alright, auto start, next frame. Let's set up a thing here that turns green only when you're ready for the next frame. Right, so only when all these are there will this turn green, otherwise it won't. Let us go to this. Alright, where is that? There it is. And this is going to be called the ready. And this is just a light, right? It's nothing fancy. Let's make this bigger. And that, as I previously said, this will be something that we use from over here. So what we're looking at is this number here. So basically it's checking how many, if this is equal to 0, right? And I'm gonna have to access this data before, well, irrelevant of whether it's 0 or not, I will need to check this data. So what I'm looking for is the following. If this is, so if this is equal to well, there should be 4 of them, right? So if this is equal to 4, that makes it true. That means we are ready. That's pretty much it, if I'm not mistaken. Let's test it. We run the program, starts with nothing, we load this, auto start, and then we do select all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're ready for the next frame. Next frame. 1, 2, 3. I didn't put the 4th. Okay, you are not ready, but it let you work. So we have an error. So now we need to make sure that you are ready and you click next, right? So there we go. You are ready and you click next. Let's get this connected to here, and there it is. So this is basically, it seems we are approaching the end of this project. I'm not sure how much more complication we need to add. There's still a lot of things we need to add to it. I'm sure of that. We just didn't get that far yet. So as everything, I have to check if I'm doing things correctly before I continue. Yep. So this is if you guys remember this trick that we set up here, so that we would not need to have so many of these. It seems to be working. I'm not sure if I want to say it paid off, but it is working. So that's always a good thing, at least for me. At least for me. So now that we're done with this, we can move on. I think we're done with this. Alright, so when we condense, if I can figure out what to do with this, then the whole code will literally be just this big, not so much bigger. We could probably do some fancy things by moving this up here and moving this under it and have everything in one big square, but I don't want to do that. Not now, at least. We'll get back to it. We still need to export this to we need to export this into a Excel file. So we are not quite out of the woods yet. So I will work on that on another video though. I think we've done enough for this video. So I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.